If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Well, hello, my friends. Welcome so much to the Inspired Choices Radio Show. I am your host, Christine McIver, and I'm grateful to have you here with me today. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are enjoying a blissful day. And if you're not, you've tuned in to the right show. Today we are talking about follow and learn to live your bliss. And we're going to get deeply into that. I would love to have your questions and your comments. You can join us at the Inspired Choices Network website. Join us into the chat room, so inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Come into the chat room and you can participate in today's show asking questions, or you are also welcome to call in. All the numbers are listed there right on the page. So before we dive into the show, I just want to tell you a little about myself. I am a holographic coach. And what that is I work with you to live and create the love and life that you desire. What is it that you are dreaming about, thinking about, really wishing for, maybe even doubting, questioning, believing it's not going to happen? What are those things that you have continuously have on your mind that you maybe have even given up on? How many of us give up on our dreams because they haven't? Well, working with me, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be live in the present to follow all of the nudges and to what it is that you desire. So to really have you step into that hologram of your future. You can have it all. It really is true. But it does require you being willing to be brave, being willing to lean in, and being willing to choose for you. So what inspires you? And where in your life would you like to be more inspired? What would you like to create that you have not yet created, that maybe you believe is not possible? I invite you to give me a call. You can contact me through my website, inspiredchoices.ca. Send me a quick email, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and ask me a question. We can jump on a call for 30 minutes, absolutely complimentary, and we can see what it is we can do and be to create that future that you are desiring. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to expand into. So some of the specific things I do with that, really having you expand into your life, is I work with people who are struggling sometimes with their business, people who maybe don't even know how to get started, feeling overwhelmed by all the places and spaces you're supposed to show up online today. How are you supposed to be making money while you're supposed to be online? All of those pieces, how to navigate all the social media platforms, and how to really honor you and your business and your capacities. How to get those out into the world using your knowing, using your voice, and how to make money at it and really, really enjoy it. So that's one of the ways I work in. I also work with individuals in relationship, whether it's in relationship with someone that you are intimate with, whether you're in relationship with a family member. I work with parents struggling with children, teens, even young adults really struggling as they step forward into their life, into their careers, maybe into university or college. I also work with individuals who struggle deeply in relationships as far as divorce goes. That is something that is not easy to navigate your mind at the end of it. So those are just a couple of the highlighted areas where I work. I would love to support you and show you that really you can move through this and get to the other side and have peace with yourself in it. So again, contact me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. And lastly, I am the proud owner and founder of Inspired Choices Network. If you're ready to bring your voice to the world, if you're ready to have people know the expert that you treat, I would love to talk to you about joining this platform that is definitely one of my biggest joys and something that we have a community that creates together. All of our hosts and all of the team members, we create a phenomenal platform that spreads across the airwaves on so many platforms, it'll blow your mind. So again, at inspiredchoices.ca, or you can just come on over to Inspire and check out all of the information there. Okay, let's jump into follow and learn to live your bliss. So if you knew it was easier than you've been believing, would you actually follow your bliss? Do you even know what your bliss is? Bliss is a state of magnetic pull to your joy. And so this week we're going to share some of the things, some of the simple tools, and I'm going to share some of my journey with you to help you really create the bliss and have you step into it even greater. So what the heck is this all about? And I just posted something on Facebook inviting people, and I literally said, who am I to be so arrogant to actually state that I can teach you how to follow and to live your bliss? And I say that because if you know me personally, you will know that a lot of areas of my life over the last 56 years have not been blissful. In fact, they've been very painful. They've been very challenging. There's been moments of deep sorrow. There's been moments of absolutely excruciating pain. There has been moments where I have felt as though I may not get through the challenge. I may not be able to actually stand in my bravery and move into it. There's been moments where I have thought that it's impossible for me to actually create what I desire. And there's been massive moments where I was aware of so much around me that was so overwhelming that I thought, we don't want to be here anymore. How many of you have actually felt any of those, or maybe many of those? How many of you have actually said, you know what, this is too much. I can't do it. And why do I have to have so much pain, so much sadness? If you have felt that way, please stick around for the rest of the show, because this show is exactly what I'm going to be talking about, is what you may be leaning into or experiencing right now. You know, deep sadness, deep sorrow, and deep pain are not bad. And I'll tell you why they're not bad. Deep sorrow, deep pain, and deep struggle is actually a way that you and your body is actually inviting you to wake up and see what is actually stopping you. It is, if you really look at deep sadness, deep sorrow, and deep pain as the signpost, the alert signs, like, you know, like a flashing neon light. Yo, Christine, yo, Christine, wake up. You're going deep down into a hole. Wake up. If you see these things as signposts on your journey to your bliss, maybe they are more like detours. Hey, yo, you're taking the wrong path. You're taking a detour away from your bliss and from your joy. Wait a second. What are you doing? No. You know, if you could begin to look at these things as not terrible and bad and I'm screwing up and I suck, because those are the thoughts that have gone through my mind. If you can begin to really see that these are things that are showing you that you are off your path, you can begin to see this as, this is something else. This is something else that's not true for me, right? So if you are at any time feeling this overwhelmingness, this stop, it feels like it's choking me, like I can't breathe, there's this heaviness on my chest. If you're ever feeling that, I want you to know that you have not been being present in your life. I want you to really lean into this. You might want to tell me to go screw myself right now, but I want you to really listen to this and lean into this right now. Whenever things need to get so damn loud and so damn painful, there's somewhere in your life that you've been unwilling to be present. And trust me, my friends, I have many, 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 many experiences to this. And it wasn't until things got so incredibly loud that I finally screamed out for help. And I can tell you that one of those times, so there was a period of time from 1992 to 2006. Between those years, I had 4 car accidents, 4 motor vehicle accidents. The first motor vehicle accident was so incredibly painful that I had to wear a collar. I had severe whiplash. I had to wear a collar for 2 months on very heavy medication for the pain. I was struggling each and every day to move through my day. I had a young child. My son at the time was 8 years old in there. And, you know, that child required my attention and my support. And I'm telling you, my friends, if I actually got through a day and could articulate a sentence, it was amazing. And I moved through that finally. It probably took me a minimum of a year before I started to feel myself again. And that was just like, oh my God. I was literally, from that moment for several years, I was in survival mode. I got 4 days prior to that car accident, I had a miscarriage that was deadly. And then to go into this physical experience 4 days after that, totaled my car. A couple after the car accident, my very unethical employer fired me. Then I began to struggle financially. Just everything was so overwhelming. My intimate relationship was under deep struggle because of all of this intensity. And, you know, it affected everyone around me in my immediate life. But more importantly, it had me go into deep self-judgment. And it was a tough time, as you can well imagine, to have all of that on you. And to pour a little bit of vinegar into the wound, I was really manipulated into claiming bankruptcy that year. And I didn't know if I would come back from all of that. I really didn't know if I was going to survive that. And, well, obviously I did, because I'm still here. But I really didn't have the tools to move through that. I didn't have the people around me to support me to move through that. And I didn't really know how I was going to take my next step. It was only through really the small whisper inside of me to say, just try one more time. Just take one more step. And it was so quiet. That voice was so quiet in me because I was so overwhelmed. And I did. I took that step. So we're going to go off to break. Please stick with, because what I want you to know is, even if that voice is that quiet, that is the bliss inside of you. That is the truth of who you are, really asking for you to come through. And that voice, wow, I'm getting emotional. That voice will never, ever, ever go away. It's there. It's there cheering you on. And it's there being the invitation for you. It's there being the source you to be who you truly are. So my friends, stick around. We're going to go for our break, our first of the show. When we get back, I'm going to tell you a little bit more of what went on over the course of that time period, 92 to 2006, and then really bring in some more tools for you besides, in addition to really listening and honoring that quiet voice within you. You're listening to Inspired Choices Radio Show with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. And today, we're talking about and learn to live your bliss. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Well, thank you so much for sticking around, my friends. Today we are talking about following your bliss. And it's been an emotional beginning because in order to show you how to follow your bliss, I got to be real. And that's one thing you'll always find with me on the radio. I'll always be straight up, and I will always tell you the truth of what's going on. So 1992 was a tough year, as you can imagine. And it took me, as I said, after all of those challenges that just seemed to keep on coming, it took me about a year and a half to really really start feeling like myself again. Fast forward to 1996, so I've just kind of gotten out of that. I've gotten my feet back on the ground. I feel like I'm moving forward, and I'm expecting my beautiful daughter. And I get in a second car accident. And this one was pretty scary, as you can imagine, because here I am. The pregnancy and the car accidents meet again. Thankfully, my daughter was not injured in any way, but on myself had whiplash come up again. Oftentimes when you've had whiplash once, it'll come back and smack you again. So to be 8 months pregnant and to have whiplash kick in again, challenging as you can imagine. Then, lots of different things occurred between that time and the third car accident. But each car accident, I would just say to myself, like, what the fuck is going on? Why does this keep? And my friends, I'm an excellent driver. None of these car accidents were my fault. They were actually some pretty weird-ass car accidents, as they are. But the third car accident, pickup truck driver, stopped in front of me, truck into reverse, and gunned it. So, I mean, you don't hear about that happening every day. And then after the fourth car accident, each time the whiplash would come back, but the fourth car accident was quite minor, although I did have the physical. And I just sat on the street in tears, and I screamed out, why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? What in the world is going on? And that deep cry within me that basically was saying, enough. That was when I received the information from someone who was guiding me at the time that I was being asked to wake up. I was being asked to wake up. And in that moment, I screamed out, okay, I don't know what I'm waking up to, but I'm waking up. So in that energy, I was being the demand of, I'm here, show me, universe, because I'm not having that shit anymore. And I'm happy to report that after that time, I've not had another car accident. That has not been created at all, because I do live very deeply in being present and being in the moment. Now, that being present and being in the moment does not mean crap's not going to come up. But that determination that I'm having my bliss and I'm going to follow it no matter what, when things come up and you're being present, you address it faster. You lean into it. You don't run away from it. You don't put on, sunglasses and ignore it. You're not living in the rose-colored glasses world. You are living in the reality that you're creating as you are living present. And as you're living in the reality of what you've created, that's where you lean in more and you go, no, this doesn't work for me. I'm changing it. And the beacon that pulls you through that more and more and more is as you claim it and as you know it, you continue to follow that bliss. Your bliss is the beacon for you. Your bliss is the thing that will always be out front. Your bliss has your back, baby. Your bliss has your back. And if you will really, honestly choose it, it will begin to shift. It'll shift faster and faster and faster. For me, looking back, there was many challenges before that first car accident. But looking back now, it's like each time I made the claim, each time I make the claim now, the change happens faster and faster and faster because I'm willing to just step into it more than I've ever been willing to. Because beyond a shadow of a doubt, what I have said my whole life is, I came here to have joy. I came here to enjoy, to have my bliss. I'm having it. I'm not leaving here a sad person. I'm not leaving here feeling beat up. I will not lay on my deathbed with regret. So if that's the only tool that you can take from this, my friend, is the determination to say, I'm not going to live with regret as I die. That, my friends, can be the catalyst to move you beyond into your bliss. You see, the real big point that I want to get across here is contrast is actually a contribution. Contrast is a contribution to what it is that you desire. Contrast is the contribution to lead you to your bliss. Each time contrast comes up, each time angst or upset or sadness or frustration or overwhelm comes up in your world. However, let's say that's a degree of 5. You have an equal degree of 5 of bliss and joy coming up, a desire that is equal to that. And you have a choice point. In the moment, you have a choice point. Am I going to be completely swallowed up by this? Or am I going to turn my attention and my determination to my bliss? Am I going to look where it is that I desire to go instead of where I am? Am I going to turn my navigational tool to what it is that I will have no matter what? Or am I going to continue to be pulled into this quicksand upset? That, my friends, is the very first tool to know that contrast is a contribution. It's actually the wake-up call. The contrast will be your guiding light if you'll allow it. Okay, we have a question in the chat room. Christine, do you have any suggestions for how to move past the just give in to doing nothing mode and move past the fear to being who you know you can be? I know is a just do it, and yet that does not feel strong enough in this moment. Great question. And how many of us have felt that way? Well, first of all, one of the big things that I want you to understand is this process is your brave moments. This process is the bravest thing that you can do in life. All right, really following your bliss, being brave enough to choose it and choose it again and choose it again, these are your brave moments. So please know that this is heavy lifting. This is heavy work. And to honor your body and to honor your and sometimes that means taking a break, disconnecting. Allow yourself to really be fully with it. What a lot of us do is we try to ignore the feeling that you just want to give in. We try to ignore it. We try to keep pushing it aside and ignore it. And that's why it gets louder. What I really do suggest is if you need a break, fully step into that break, okay? Take 24 hours to be in your misery. Take 24 hours to scream, to yell, to pound pillows, to just be a complete and total bitch. Be that for 24 hours. Just be so what's the word? Buried in it that you feel like you can't go on. All right? Get yourself so filled up that you're ready to puke. Because here's the thing. If you are doing, I can make it, and you're not fully looking at it and you're not fully leaning one way or the other, that is that place where you feel like you're being chipped away and you're barely surviving, but you're surviving and you're being chipped away. And that actually can stop you more than really lean into the heaviness of it. Okay, so that's the very, very first thing. Now, if you are feeling so overwhelmed of this that you feel like you are going to self-harm, please reach out to somebody for assistance immediately. Please reach out, and I will put my hand up for you always. You can contact me immediately, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca, and I will guide you. If I can't be that support for you, I will connect you with someone who can. So this is not about choosing to take your life or desiring to take your life and ignoring that. But what this is about, what I'm talking about, is really how we don't acknowledge the truth fully and completely. And what that does is it has us in survival mode. Now, don't send me hate mail, but I'm not a survivor. I am a determined woman who will have what she desires. Surviving something feels to me, the energy of that word feels to me like you are barely hanging on. And barely hanging on energy is not going to move you to your bliss. All right? Strong determination is going to. And when you are so friggin' overwhelmed with this thing, when you've taken those 24 hours and you've just completely melted into all of your upset, you will get so done with it. You will get that determination rise up in you like you've never had before. All right? So that's the first thing. And I say 24 hours because it's so easy. It's so incredibly easy to get lost in it for days and weeks. But you've got to make a deal with yourself. And, hey, send me an email, make the deal with me. 24 hours, I'm going in, and I'm going to be terrible, and I'm going to be awful, and I'm going to scream, and I'm going to freak out, and I'm going to be my absolute worst self. I'm going to let this shit have me, raging, bawling my eyes out, feeling like, there's water all over my face, snot running out of my nose for 24 hours. I'm going to be the worst that I can possibly be with this for 24 hours. But at the end of that 24 hours, you're done. You are done. If you fully lean into this, you will fall asleep, barely be able to fall asleep because you'll be hardly able to breathe with all of the upset. And you will wake up in the morning feeling like a worn-out rag. But you will remember, I made a deal. I'm done. I am absolutely, totally, and completely done with that. Oh, yeah, Melissa, my amazing producer, says, yep, so fun. And looking at it in the mirror can make it almost funny with the snot running down, right? It actually can be a wake-up call like, wow, I really look terrible. With yourself. And please, as I said, please feel free to make it with me. I don't care who you are. Send me a quick email and say, I'm doing it, I'm going in, and I will reach out to you after the 24 hours. I'm accountable to that deal. All right? So we're up to our second break of the show. And when we get back, we're going to lean more into the bliss. All right, my friends, you are listening to Inspired Choices radio show with myself, Chris McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network, where we're talking about follow and learn to live your bliss. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's a pretty potent topic, and it's one that it's interesting how these topics come in, and then they begin to challenge me. They really have me look at what is really true for me. And sometimes It may seem like it's easy. It's not always easy to lean in. And it's interesting that my radio show, since I started for years, my radio show has shown me the places and spaces where I need to lean into even more. It's such a gift to me to speak and lean into the truth of me and where do I want to be focusing. And that brings me to a fabulous email that I got a couple of weeks ago I wanted to share with you. If you know Abraham, Esther Hicks, I receive that email every day, and this one really spoke to me about this topic, about following your bliss. And let me read it to you. It's continuing to tell stories of shortage only continues to contract your desire for abundance. And you cannot get both ways. You cannot focus upon unwanted and receive wanted. You cannot focus upon stories about money that make you feel uncomfortable and allow into your experience what makes you feel comfortable. A different story will bring different results. My thoughts are the basis for the attraction of all things that I consider to be good, which includes enough money and health for my comfort and joy. Friggin' love that. I friggin' love that so much. And that is actually where I want to take you. And that's the reason why I was talking about all of the upset, and which led me to the 24-hour piece, okay? When you have enough, when you are filled up with your bullshit, with the crap, you can say, okay, that's it. I'm going to lean into my bliss. And where you stop telling the stories of the upset, of the less than, of the intensity that is pissing you off. But are you pissed off enough? Are you mad enough with the bullshit to actually start to choose different? Ask yourself, when you hear yourself go into the woe is me, when you hear yourself tell your lack stories in whatever area of your life, please ask yourself, have I had enough yet? Have I had enough of this yet? What I often do is when there's a tool that's really popping for me, I actually take a whiteboard marker and I write on my mirrors so that I am continuously seeing that in the morning, continuously reminding myself, okay, pay attention, right? No longer the car accidents, my friends. Now it's just a whiteboard. It's just a writing on a mirror, okay? And you can get from that point to this point. You can when you finally said, I've had enough, and I'm going to choose different. You see, the thing that a lot of people are missing is action. A lot of people are missing that, yes, you want to clear your crap. Yes, you want to get the healing. You absolutely want to get to that place where you feel safe. And you want to have the tools available. But you gathering and clearing and doing all of that means absolutely nothing if you're not willing to take the action. Action is actually one of the greatest tools to bring you to your bliss. And the very first action must be the story that you are telling. What is the record player that you are playing? You know, I, a couple of years ago, bought a record player, and I play a lot of the oldies. And I love the old music that I grew up with. It's fabulous, right? But if I played the same record day in and day out, if I just kept putting the needle back at the beginning of the same side of that same album, what would actually be happening in my world? I would be stuck in that loop, right? That's what you're doing. When you would continue to tell the lack stories, even if you're not speaking them out loud, but you keep rolling them around in your mind, you are playing that. You are stuck in that loop. And yes, like Melita said, it's going. How annoyed are you with your lack? How annoyed are you with the creation of your life that you've chosen to this point? Are you annoyed enough that you are willing to take more action today than you took yesterday? Are you willing to be the catalyst of your own life? Are you willing to say, I need support. I'm stuck. And I will tell you, my friends, I put my hand up all the time, because here's what I know. When I start to get stuck in that loop of the woe is me or this sucks or whatever that is, when I'm stuck in that loop, I can stay stuck for a long time. We all need a life preserve. Put your hand up. Find someone who is an expert in their field. Find someone who knows what they're talking about, who's been there, who's done it. Find that person that resonates with your story, that is now choosing, and they can begin to show you, they can call you on your bullshit as well. You know, there's nothing finer than having a coach who doesn't recognize what you're doing, and they let you slide through, right? Are you willing to have one call you on your bullshit? Are you willing to have someone hold you accountable to what you say you desire? Following your bliss and staying in your bliss is continually allowing yourself to screw up and choose it. Following your bliss is never giving up, no matter what anyone says. It's making that relationship with yourself more intimate and more valuable than anything else in the entire world. The relationship you have with yourself is the one relationship you will always have throughout your entire life. You live 20 years or you live 150 years. That is the one relationship that will go away. And when you have that relationship where you're willing to call yourself on your shit, where you're willing to say, hey, Christine, what the hell do you think you're doing? What, you're doing it again. You're trying to self-sabotage. Why are you telling this story? You know, this is the place where I've gotten to with myself. And some people may say, you're a little schizo. You know what? If I got to be a little schizo to get to my bliss, I'm willing to be that. I am willing to do whatever it takes to get to that space. Are you willing? Are you willing to say enough is enough? You know, just claiming it is one of the very first steps ever to following your bliss. And every day, have that in front of you. Have that target in front of you. Say, I see my bliss, and I'm choosing it. I am not going to be deferred from that, no matter what. Oh, I may fall down. I may trip, but I'm not stopping. I am never, ever stopping. I'm having it. I am having it. And that's another tool. Oh, my gosh, this is a fabulous tool, and there's an amazing series that's going to be coming up. I can't wait to share with everybody. Oh, my God, it's going to be phenomenal. It's actually called Feminine Potency Through the Power of Your Voice series. I am going to have amazing women on here that are going to share their voice with us and how they're moving through it. And one of the very first things that we actually have a group on Facebook, and someone was sharing that they're really that they're jealous, that they're in jealousy with what people are having and getting to do and be in their lives. And it reminded me of this tool that I really want to share with all of you, but we're going to go to break. We're going to go to break, and when we get back, I'm going to share this tool with you, and I'm going to just invite you in just a little bit more to have and follow your bliss. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends, thank you so much for sticking around. I know you want to hear what this tool is, so I'm going to get right to it. So we're talking about following your bliss, and one of the biggest things that I know is when you're feeling jealousy, it's easy to rage. It's easy to be in that victim energy. But if you want to change it, this is one of the most fabulous ways to change it. First of all, when jealousy comes up, it's that signal again. It's that, hey, yo, this is one of your desires. Jealousy is just a way to wake you up to your desire. So here's how you move beyond jealousy into potency. What you do is you go, hell yes, you celebrate for that person. Right on, good for you, that's amazing. And then immediately you say, I will have that too. I am choosing that as well. Yes, I will have that, right? Lean into it. Say, that's friggin' amazing, and I'm going to have that too. Wouldn't you do that if you were, at a buffet and somebody said, oh, my gosh, this chocolate cake is the best chocolate cake I have ever had? You wouldn't stand there and go, damn that woman, damn her for having chocolate cake. Why does she get to have chocolate cake? Yo, look at the big. There's plenty of chocolate cake for everybody. Are you willing to see that? Are you willing to really see there's more for everybody? Stop. Stop buying the lie that there's lack. The only lack is the bullshit you keep telling yourself. Actually, you don't have lack of the bullshit, right? You got plenty of the bullshit. You'll acknowledge there's plenty of bullshit in your head, but you won't acknowledge that there's plenty of everything else. We're all saying in the chat room we want chocolate cake. I want chocolate cake now too, you guys. How funny is that? The next time that you see someone celebrating, claiming, boasting, sharing what they've created, the amazingness that they be, the amazingness of their capacities, what they got to experience, what they are enjoying and bringing into their life. The next time you see that, I want you to stand up. Even if it's energetically, I want you to stand up and I want you to give them a standing ovation. And then I want you to claim it for you. Claim it. If you want to have something, you will have it. If I tell you there's chocolate cake to be had, you will choose it. You will drive to it, unless you don't like chocolate cake. In that case, choose what you like. But I'm telling you, look at your life. Look at what you've been creating, all right? And now I want you to look at those times where you said, hell no, and you claimed something and you had it. You know you have that in you. Maybe you just need a wake-up call to it. And if you need a wake-up call, I trust that your being and the universe is giving you the wake-up calls, and they may not be delivered with the tenderness and the ease that you think you should have. You wouldn't hear it How many of us would never hear the wake-up calls if they were delivered with ease? Because, all right, there's just a little noise over in the corner. No, it needs to get really loud so you will wake up. Are you really willing to wake the fuck up? Are you willing to listen to the angst that's going on within you? Are you willing to say, no more. I'm choosing it, and I'm ready now to take the action. Every day, okay, what action do I need to take today? What action do I need to take today? And you don't need to go from, action step 1 to 100 in a day. Even if you take one step a day, 365 days from now, my friend, you will forget. You will have the faintest memory of this space right here, right now. And it starts with you. My friends, I have got so much inside of me about this topic, as you can well see. And it still wants to come out, but we're coming to the end of the show. I'd like to make you an offer. First of all, I'd like to offer for you to contact me for a half-hour session, complimentary, if you would like to learn more about within you. And secondly, I'd like to extend my VIP offer to you. You see, I'm in business 10 years, and I have a VIP program right now on. The first 20 people that choose it, it is $1,000 off for 7 sessions. So 7 sessions for only $750 Canadian. That's 7 hours you and I are going to work together. So if this hour turned you on and lit you up, imagine what 7 hours focused completely on you would. I would love to hear from you. I would love to work with you. Maybe there's someone you know out there that really needs this support and this real kick in the butt, the accountability, the guidance, the love, and the tenderness, all wrapped up into a potent call, a potent coaching session with me. That's what I'm extending to you, whether it's for personal reasons or for your business. Maybe it's for relationships. Maybe it's for money. Whatever it is, I'm willing to be that for you and extend that to you. So please do check out the offer. You can find that through this post here on the Inspired Choices Network, or you can check it out on my website, inspiredchoices.ca. Just look under the packages, VIP packages. Actually, it's right on the home page. But my friends, listen, no matter what you got from this call, I want you to know that your bliss is still alive within you, and it's asking for you to choose in. It's asking for you to lean in even more. Are you willing to have what it is that you keep saying you want to have, but you haven't totally chosen into? Are you willing? If you are, even if there's just a small little voice that says, I'm willing, you've begun. You've already begun. My friends, until next week, please remember, you can always make another choice. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.